And greetings there, internets. It's that time again, indeed. And do we have the picture? We do have all the pictures, indeed. So, hello. Yes, it's the time to take a look at a monthly... insert some corporate term here. A review. There we go. A monthly review of a company, or rather, its workers, or some nonsense essentially. Right. Well, so what basically today's topic is gonna be is, well, yeah, the aforementioned, well, the summary of well, whatever has been achieved and will be achieved hopefully in Elite Dangerous, the development update 2 summary thing, the ding. Oh my gosh, this is the most boring intro ever. But anyways, here we go. So yeah, an information about the future of Elite Dangerous, and of course the past month's summary, give or take, if you will. Yes, I very good plan sentence ahead of time brain, yes. Oh, fucking me. Alright, well, first things first, I do want to get a good shot visually, so that we have some fun, at least visuals, you know, and all that, to enjoy in the meantime. So, just give me a moment. I'm gonna do something fun. Come on, stop right there. Alright then. Let's see if I can aim it correctly. Ah, damn it. I think it's gonna be pretty close. But anyways, fuck it. Eventually I'm gonna go to the... Okay. Well, in any case, yes, I'm gonna get closer to the edge of the ring and have some fun visuals for y'alls. In the meantime, of course... yeah, okay, this'll do. Alright, so, let's see. I'm here for you, Yamix, to install the game and possibly will never come back. Well, I mean, you got the game, right? So it will be worth coming back in half a year to take a look at what has changed, if nothing at all, and then maybe after a year, you know, just to check what the result of Odyssey in general has been, because... yeah, it'll be interesting after about a year, or rather when the year concludes. Let's see. Now, I'm currently thinking of well, right. So basically, whenever a DLC is released, at least when you look at, when you examine front-end developments their own financial reports and so on and so forth, you do read about, you know, how their financial strategies goes, basically. And essentially, there was this one report, I think, that they did talking about basically, you know, what they plan and how they supported the properties and so on and so forth after they are released. And for new games, it's 4-year support, as they claim, and for DLC, it is 2 years, so this counts as a DLC, sort of. So, yeah, for the 2 years, they promise to support it. So, but the thing is, usually, first year is an active development, squashing bugs, or, you know, just ironing out things, and of course, balancing. Well, that would be if front-end developments actually did majority of the balancing properly, but or ever, but that's a whole different topic. Regardless, the point is, first year is when we can expect some interesting well, results. After that, well, then that becomes questionable endeavor. Regardless, today we talk about the past month in the retrospect from developers themselves. So, well, let me just get the visuals there. It's gonna be darker. Actually, no, you know what? Let me just screen grab. Give me a moment. No, that's the wrong window. God damn it! Ah! Let's see. Wrong window. That's the wrong window. It's also the wrong window. Damn it! Okay, well, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Did I? Don't tell me I closed it. I didn't. Okay. Right. Give me a moment. Why? Okay, OBS is getting weird, but regardless, anyways. Oh, come on. Fine. You don't want to work? There we go. That'll do the trick. Fuck it. I'm getting it together. This'll probably be easier. You'll see me doing a lot of this whenever I alt tab usually. But regardless. Right. So essentially, let's examine what they actually mentioned and so on and so forth. Actually, now that I think of it. Oops. Hold on. So that the sound doesn't bother anyone. Right. Anyways, moving on then. Right, so, greetings, commanders. With the end of July closing in on us faster than blah, 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 we wanted to share our second monthly developer update. Right, so here's the snarky person in me saying that, hey, how long until they drop this monthly report thing? The first month was a guarantee. The second month is a follow-up. How long can we expect this to last? That's the constant nagging, snarky, you know, heckler, if you will, in me that you know, kind of makes an appearance and sort of puts an idea in my brain. See, thing is, and it's not without a reason, because the thing is, whenever Frontier, well, the developer, community manager, whoever team is basically dealing with Elite Dangerous, whenever they had promised something for Elite Dangerous, the results, frankly speaking, haven't often either materialized at all, or they have been dropped immediately after the first or maybe second sort of drop, if you will. For example, beta launches for all the updates. For example, you know, beta launch for the update that was promised for let's see, that was after the September update for the fleet carriers. We got the beta, yeah. After that we got, oh god, there were a few other ones as well. God damn it. Now, oh, it's so annoying trying to remember all the releases for them. But basically, the point is, the first couple of beta launches we got, right? But after that, have we seen actual beta release? True that we really didn't have big updates that warranted such a thing. Maybe that was the reason, but yeah, it was basically, after fleet carriers, it really was just alpha release, which was only for the fucking pre-order tempting, or rather to tempt people to buy pre-orders and no other fucking reason, and that was a paid thing as well, so there you go. So yeah, as for the Odyssey, have you seen any beta things for any upcoming things? No. Then again, yeah, sure, they don't warrant you know, separate beta, big launch and so on and so forth, but it'll be interesting to see how, whether or not they have forgotten about the whole beta promise that they've, you know, put for the community. Regardless, anyways, carrying on then. It's nice to see, of course, the development update and blah, yada. So we'll see how long they upkeep actually these sorts of reports. Obviously, the best we can hope is that they actually do well, not copy, but properly report every month for, you know, years rather than a few months after a release of this thing. But it'll show how invested actually the employees of Elite development team are on this one. Anyways, carrying on then, right. I've rambled already enough, right? So yeah. Of course, I'd like to see this thing, you know, this sort of a reporting go on for longer. Right. Anyways, as mentioned in David Braben's recent post, we have adjusted our planning, to retain our development focus on the PC version for Odyssey before revisiting our plans for console. This change in planning will mean we are able to deliver more bug fixes, performance improvements, as well as some new features and content. Yeah, the interesting thing is, that was to be expected, right? The console delay was to be expected especially after the launch of Odyssey. Frankly speaking, I don't know anyone who expected consoles to actually launch in 6 months with the level of quality that was Odyssey. Especially considering that, generally speaking, you have to make Odyssey run with the hardware that is on PlayStation 4 or Xbone. There we go, Xbone it was. Remember, the graphics cards alone that are within the old generation, that is PS4 and Xbox One, are comparable to around the Radeon HD 7400 or something like that. Somebody in the chats, feel free to look up the equivalent desktop graphics cards, because those are very underpowered graphics cards, as a matter of fact, in comparison to the new console generation, as a matter of fact. So expecting those run, and the funny thing is, those PS4 and Xbox One graphics elements, that is graphics the GPUs alone, wouldn't be able to run the minimum spec of Odyssey, right? So I honestly wonder what kind of plan did they even have for consoles, even after releasing those minimum specs for the PC. Sure, with oh, sorry, yeah, there we go, Radeon 7850, the counting by the flops. All right, fair enough, yeah, that's the, I thought that I had something wrong, but yeah, in any case, so performance-wise, I really wonder what was the plan there, because it doesn't feel like they even had a plan. So yeah, I do wonder. Now, obviously, it'd be nice to have, you know, console players also join in on whatever fun, if there are any fun elements left in Odyssey. But considering that there are bigger issues with Odyssey even after performance is sorted, yeah, I'm not so sure. And considering that also it basically goes back to ruin, well, in some parts, the base game as well. I'm speaking specifically about the UI. Also, it's yeah, it's a questionable thing. Of course, the planned generation also is a questionable thing indeed, but we'll get to that eventually. Anyways, oh lol, 1337, nu čau savējiem, jā, nu visādiem savējiem brīnumiem ar unikāliem vārdiem, jā. Taks, right, anyways, so on the issue tracker, right, so similar to last month, we like to update you on key issues as voted by community, blah, 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 and vote for your top issues to make a report, right, so, let's see what we got, right? So, number one, lighting and illumination in Odyssey. So, fact is, in my review, I did mention multiple times that essentially it feels like what they did with Odyssey was more, well, cranking up some contrast, cranking up some gamma, changing essentially the way colors are rendered rather than the lighting itself. So, I don't know. It's again, it's hard to say because obviously, even with with something like a render dock, those that don't know, a program that allows you to examine each frame step by step as it essentially receives information from a program to render something essentially. It's still kind of hard to examine as to what they have actually done to the colors specifically, or how they changed it, but well, they call it lighting, so kind of doubt about that, because it clearly was a bit of everything, but regardless. Anyways, so yeah, changes in update 6, that is the upcoming update, will address lighting issues, however, we'll continue to monitor blah blah blah. All right, fair enough, we'll see how you change it, because for example, right now, the hauler's interior, it's very bright, and the brown, pukish, diarrhea color scheme of this dash just makes me love the ship even more. I'm being extremely sarcastic here too. Yeah, not keen on a few things. Again, Hauler is a disgusting looking change. You go back to Horizons, you'll see quite a different looking interior lighting, if you will, or coloring, whichever one it is. Yeah, it's this is just not great. This really doesn't make the, well, dash pop out, if you will. Yeah, it just, I don't know, it's just me. Anyways, for other ships, it actually did some nice additions. So, well, it's a hit and miss. Anyways, moving on then. Degraded terrain textures compared to Horizons. Generally speaking, right, so essentially this quote-unquote degraded is essentially not fully loaded in texture. Basically, the way game usually loads in textures is, you know, first it loads, or depending on how it does. Back in the day, it was slightly different, but these days with texture streaming, generally it loads in the general texture look, you know, in the low res, then it ups the quality until it reads the full information about the texture. That's one way of doing it. Of course, another one is to load in the texture, then generate lower quality versions for, you know, whenever your character is further away from a texture source or a model. That's usually what happens as well. At least that's how it was back in the day. You know, depending on how they load in these textures, what's the thing, you know, what is the method essentially that they're using for that particular thing. Regardless, point is, I think that they're kind of misrepresenting it. Well, it feels more like it is an issue with texture streaming or a loading specifically, as it presents an incomplete version to the player whenever it shouldn't. But all right, whatever. They're working on it, so we'll see whether or not that changes. But that usually happens on lower grade hardware, which either A, can't manage the speeds at which it needs to load in the texture, or well, model or texture, whichever one it is, or can't generate it quickly enough. That's usually the result of those blurry textures, models, and everything else. So. That usually comes down to, you know, again, budget gear, if you will. And considering that about 90% of hardware for Odyssey, at least the way Odyssey works, is to the level of that, essentially because of the lack of optimization and other issues, yeah, everyone, or at least majority, will be experiencing it partly. But anyways, moving on. Right, FPS performance, yeah, we have further improvements and optimization, blah, 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 but basically no information about it. Cargo canisters getting stuck in megaships. Okay, yeah, that's being fixed as they actually are they have addressed it apparently. So, well, good on you, fixed it, good. Let's see, high force cache, missing scannable data point. Well, that's oddly specific. One specific place in the galaxy, but all right, well, fair enough. Let's see, retrieval from crash site mission POIs no longer appear. Let's see, crash sites. Ah, gotcha, right, yeah, that one. I never ran into this particular bug, but fair enough. Also very oddly specific. When you have lighting, very generalized. Textures, very generalized. FPS performance, super generalized. And then you have very specific number 4, number 5, number 6. It's like reasons to live. Air. Sunlight. And then it's... number 4 is this fantastic RGB keyboard. Like, oddly specific. It's like kind of padding the list, aren't we? But regardless. Anyways, moving on, right. Retrieval, blah, blah, blah. And Odyssey stuck at loading. All right. not also very specific, but there we go. Right, so they will be fixing some interesting things, I suppose, for the update 6. Well, currently, Elite Dangerous official thing is streaming, and from as little as I managed to catch from it, Arthur specifically, being the community manager also who, posted this thing, he mentioned that they don't have the date set for the update number 6, so yeah, alright, again, fair enough, apparently. I'm not sure if they actually promised it to be released this week. Yeah, I don't think so. So I wouldn't expect it this week. Usually when... Well, Frontier runs as a company. They are a massive company and they are very corporate. So they have schedule. And it doesn't matter when, they will release on a schedule. As they did with Odyssey. Right? But regardless, the point is, time and time again, very rarely has Frontier Developments, or rather the development team of Elite Dangerous, released an update that is not on Thursday. Very rarely. So, yeah, either we're gonna get it on Thursday, or maybe Tuesday next week. That's what I can kind of, I guess, promise almost, but no, I don't have any information specifically, but that's just an educated guess, let's just say. So, there you go. Anyways, moving on. Hey, Crow for all seasons, right? Seems like they solved the ship interior lighting issue by just putting a big invisible light source inside. Yeah, that's how it feels. Again, actually, you know what? I can switch. Yeah, let's do a quick switch, right? So this is the Hauler look, right? It really does feel like there's some kind of ambient big light source behind you, but there is no such thing, right? Now let's see what happens if I, switch to Horizons. It's gonna take a while, so I'll there we go. Come on, come on. There you go, Horizons. It's the beauty of this kind of fuckfest, if you will, is that we can actually go back to Horizons and test the stuff. Which is kind of funny in many ways. But there you go. So yeah, while that loads, let's then carry on. Right, so basically, yeah, we have that. Right, so upcoming updates and content. Right, as promised, we wanted to share with you work in progress content and improvements which will arrive in future updates. With bug fixes and performance improvements remain a priority, and activities such as narrative events and community goals will continue. Right, so this is kind of yes and a no thing. Rock and a hard place thing. Right, story-wise, right? Because this big update came out, just like with Horizons, story is a great way to publicize or implement, well, story-wise, new features and new gameplay, new interesting things to sort of announce. Not only there's just, hey, now you're able to use, let's say, fleet carriers. Now you have a story, sort of big event that publicizes, the fleet carrier or something like that. I'm taking a shitty fleet carrier that exactly didn't have any story announcement for it. But the point is that Tech Brokers, for example, did have a little bit of the story thing, because Tech Brokers came into fold alongside with the Guardian beacons, as well as the Guardian sites with those sentinels, right? So when you do it correctly, right, it can be a great, story mover as well as a new feature addition, rather than just, here you go, a new feature, enjoy. It's not as interesting or so forth. Problem with this is that, console players don't have this, right? Sure, community goals to some extent, obviously, as long as it doesn't overlap with Odyssey required stuff, which it highly probably will not, still moves on. But the thing is, I betcha there is plenty of Odyssey-specific gameplay, like, again, Horizons. We look at Horizons, how Guardian stuff was announced, right? Guardian stuff was almost exclusively on... Actually, no, at first it was exclusively for Horizons. That was the big story-moving thing. So, yeah, we can... Well, there will be, obviously, Odyssey exclusive story-moving things or story events. So, yeah, I have a feeling they are sort of postponing them, because obviously the game is in a horrible state. So they can't really rush into it, but regardless, at one point they either will run out of that filler arc, if you will, while they're fixing the game, and they will simply have to, well, kind of push out the Odyssey stuff, Odyssey story, and unless, of course, the console version will be fixed, or rather made or released, rather, for obviously console players at the time. Console players may miss it out. So that's kind of the issue, right? Sure, you can't... If you stop the story completely dead in its tracks until you actually manage to get the console version out, it's also not a great experience for the PC folks, right? So either which way, you have something to lose and something to win, and I don't envy their... well... if they have story writers, their position, if you will. And also, new content probably ain't gonna be released that soon either. We can't expect a Titan Targoid this quickly, because obviously they're still fixing the game, and it would be a smarter choice to release it when it is fixed and improved, more importantly. So, yeah, don't expect the big waves within the story, like the Titan Targoid, the Scarab SRV, not Scarab, but Scorpion SRV, and what was the other? Rhino SRV, right? And a few other fucking things to come out this quickly, or soon. So that's... well, what it is, it is. Right, moving on. Right. However, our new approach allows us to add further content and features. Yeah, we'll see about those content pieces and those features. Unless, of course, everyone can enjoy the features that you're bringing in. That is, the features that will be given to Horizon as well. Probably those won't be added. We'll see. We'll see what they have in the store, because... Odyssey is pretty empty of features, frankly speaking. So, yeah. Anyways, let's see. This month we... Oh, right. Actually, hold on. There we go. I can load this in. Let's see. This month we would like to share some of the content currently in development. Please note that there are varying stages of progress. Blah 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 blah. Right. So we'll keep you updated. All right. So, anyways, right. So, Planet. Planned later for this week in update 6. Right, later this week. They kind of imply... Well, I mean, that is an explicit implication that an update 6 is coming this week. Frankly speaking, I don't care when it comes. When it comes, just make sure that it fucking works. Delay it if you need to, like you didn't do for Odyssey, goddammit. Anyways, going on. Right, planetary color improvements. I mean, generally speaking, yeah, from the far, it looks gorgeous, right? Yeah, sure. Problem is that from afar, already the planets looked pretty nice. The problem was that the fact that the surfaces themselves were very boring. So... this does not impress me. Yeah, sure, you can procedurally generate these interesting... Yeah, granted, interesting looking planets and have the variety, which is nice. But knowing what I know about Odyssey and the way they basically screwed over the planet generation, I'm interested about actual planet generation, and we'll get to that too. So this, knowing what I know, is deceiving, almost. Or at least it can be deceptive. Yeah, it looks nice, but the planet actually is just flat. It doesn't, it doesn't feel fun. Now that's... Anyways, right, so planetary bodies, we'll see a number of improvements. Explorers will find new planetary coloration, which will increase vibrancy and variety. Okay. The improvements will still be grounded with real science. Okay, sure. Yeah. But will offer much richer experience. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, right, so... looks. Yes. There we go. And this is the normal hauler, right? It's gray. Oh, hold on. Can I move my mouse? Ah, there we go. No. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh, I hate this trash. Every fucking time you switch from Horizons to Odyssey or back and forth, you have to fucking select this stuff. Hate this. And also the fact that it automatically changes whenever you plug in something new. That why? Anyways, see, the hauler is, you know, yeah, it's gray. It feels plasticky. Yeah, sure, they are ugly, but it feels more natural. Do you remember what it looked like in Odyssey? If you didn't, at least on the YouTube, you can actually skip back a couple of minutes and look at the cockpit, because this feels more natural. This actually is more natural. What the hauler cockpit looks like in Odyssey is just fuck. Let me show you if I can quickly load in again. So yeah, it's just some cockpits really suffered because of that change that they did for the cockpits. Oh, but the cockpits, you know, they need more lighting and all that. Yeah, sure, but don't make them gross. Oh, anyways, moving on. Right, so there will also be further variation in addition to earthy, gritty, dirty worlds. All right, then, fair enough. These new textures will add more variety. At this point, considering the amount of look and, frankly speaking, you know, the variety of these planets, knowing what I know about Odyssey and seeing how it was developed, I wonder. My mind wonders. Was this not originally planned? Were these not original intended textures that, you know, they could have or wanted to put in for Odyssey as a launch edition, but were not able because they had to rush out some kind of working version of Odyssey? I truly wonder whether or not it was, you know, something that was already in the works, you know, and just simply had to be cut because they were forced by executives to release this trash. If they actually were given, if developers, those hard-working developers, and I bet there are plenty of them out there, right? In the frontier, not generally, but, you know, in the frontier, that wanted and was able to bring out this beauty and potentially some really cool things out as a whole package if they had been given enough time. That's the saddest thing. I was willing, and I am still willing to wait for a good fucking product. And, well, on the bright side, console players will have plenty of time. And as a matter of fact, they, well, like it or not, are basically forced to wait for something that actually is functioning and will have more fuller feature set than, well, what PC experience had. Imagine just how much of the backlash could have been avoided if they just simply took it up the chin and delayed it for another year. Alone, just a fucking year. That's the saddest fucking thing. Anyways, carrying on. Right, I'm back in here, right? Let me just show you the hauler itself. But now we have to deal with these, well, monthly updates and just incremental changes. Constantly incremental changes that don't feel like much. Right, and this is the hauler, right? Where's the gray? Where's the gray on this panel? What the fuck happened to it, right? That's the thing. It just looks so much grosser and flatter. Right, those artists in the audience, as a matter of fact, you know what I mean about flatter picture. You take out the color of, the cockpit, you'll see a flatter color. It's all sort of the same. There's no, well, sure, there are small little nuanced shadows here and there, but it doesn't feel quite right. It doesn't feel depthful or actually realistic. Again, Elite Dangerous goes for realism, so there you go. Anyways, yes, to answer your question, why do you think they don't dare put developers on and instead only allow PR shills labeled community managers? Dude, first of all, community managers are employees of the company. They are again, the face of the company, sort of, especially back in the day. There was this wonderful community manager called Ed Lewis. He was a perfect presenter, and that's what community managers often are relegated to doing, presenting things. There are obviously good things that a community manager or somebody within such a position can do extra to actually be a community manager or a PR face as well, but anyways, I'm not gonna comment any more than that. Also, Mechanic Man, I see you there in the...
Hello, Mechanic. How are you? Yes, Mechanic Man is here. I just wanted to jump in because you're showcasing the hauler and mention that in VR there is an exterior running light that flashes directly in your face when you play in VR, and it drives me insane. And since you were doing this, I had to mention it.
Oh God!
The entire time you're in the ship.
Like in front when you're sitting in front
when
of
you're sitting in when you're sitting right here where you're at, right at the very top of the window. Outside there's a white flashing strobe, but in VR it's inside and it's constantly flashing your strobe in your face, and I hate it because I fly a hauler in VR a lot.
Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah.
It could just be me, but it happens every single time for me.
Yeah, that's kind of like it feels. Oh, fucking hell.
That's all.
Well, anyways, well, since you're around, what did you think of the development updates as a whole? This one particular.
I mean, they're trying. They're still working on it. They're doing the best they can for whatever reason. I almost feel like the planets were... Somebody had an agenda with their planets. I want planets to be like this. And it flopped. And now they're like, fine, just throw all the colors at them. Give them whatever they want type of feeling. That's how it felt to me. But I don't know if that's the case. But kind of just, all right, if this is what they want, just go nuts with it. Give them all the colors. Give them everything they want. Which in a way is good. You know, hey, let's give our players what we want to have. But I feel like it was just, let's throw it at them. Like, get it out of the way. They want this, give it to them.
See, my theory about the planets in general is, well, the big question is, why would you risk regenerating literally your sandbox completely?
The entire galaxy worth of
you
sand,
wouldn't
yes.
do that, right? The only explanation I kind of can think of is that they wanted, or rather they needed to put in new textures. Okay, you can still use the same mesh, if you will, the model for the planet, and still have the space legs running around. It will be a rough environment, but they will still run around and do the same things, right? Just put in higher textures. So I have a feeling that it was done just to put in new textures. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I do think that's kind of the way it was done. I think it was done for Odyssey because they needed more human traversable terrain. But yeah, I don't think it would have been as bad as they were thinking. And, we didn't test it in the old generation system on foot. But for all I know, it seemed like it should have worked. Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird. But well, there you go. And well, now that, hey, because we had to regenerate the whole galaxy and so on and so forth. Oh, whoopsie, planets ain't doing so well. But even...
Generate them again. Let's fix it again. Just keep making new planets so we find some good ones.
Right? You can still use the same generation code. Or algorithm at the very least to generate approximately the same type of planet with the same artifacts that people liked. Sure, it's not going to be exactly the same as the last Pomeche, but it's still going to be a testicle planet, right? So, if you haven't seen the current Pomeche, oh my god, let me just find the footage.
How does it look now?
It's disgusting. Let's see.
There's got to be a new one out there, like they say, but will we ever find him again? Who knows?
The best. Let's see. No, it's.
Have
not
they said in this
here.
new comment that these new planets are they going to completely regenerate the planets again, or is it going to try to do like what you're saying? It's just new textures.
It's gonna. I don't know. Right.
Probably
so
brand new
this
again.
is the old Pomecha, right? There we go. Right. This is the old one, right? It's very beautiful. You know, very striking, different colors and all that stuff, and deep caverns. Doesn't feel realistic, frankly speaking, but whatever. I'll take it. I'll take it. I love it.
Any
because-
racers will have this memorized. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right? There you go. That's how it looked. Right? This is the new one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the changed planet, or the same planet, but in Odyssey.
I've got stream delayed. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. I think the fact of the matter is that the old one looked more realistic. Right? I don't know. It looked more realistic than that. So I wonder why not use the old generation code?
It's
and
interesting
we have
that you
never
can
been
see
answered, or that question never been answered.
we can see how the weird seed number that Pomesh has does something with both versions, but I like the way they did it on the old one, yeah. For obvious reasons, because it's more traversable and playable and fun.
I mean, the coloring is one thing, right? The coloring is one thing, but the spikes, it truly feels like babies, well, maybe not exactly babies first, but close to it, height map.
It's just not usable anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they changed the algorithm. I get it. They changed it from buffer-based generation to texture-based generation. That was the big move. But
I mean, I say just, yeah, like they're doing right now. Just give us a whole new generation system and keep trying it till they get it right. But they should have done this in beta and alpha, but that's a different story.
well, hey, your books need the product released, okay? Your investors need to see a blip in income, right?
That's what kills it.
Yeah. Okay,
How many
so
game companies do you have to
early.
churn through until you realize that doesn't work in this industry?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that they learned from Cyberpunk, Fallout 76. Whatever. What was the
Nukem Forever or anything?
Oh
yeah.
God, that one's more comparable to Star Citizen these days.
Well, that's true.
Oh God, but yeah. In any case, yeah. Anyways, let me just read the planetary improvement. All right, so planetary surface improvements. Planetary surfaces will also be getting an uplift with the following: improved surface texture detail, improved ice materials. Increased volcanism, I know sprechen Sie English, ja. Improved lighting and integration with the new AMD technology FSR. That's actually a good one. AMD's technology is apparently super easy to implement. That's a bonus, but the fact that, you know, it actually adds some added kind of performance, even though it's a glorified upscale. The point is, it adds a little bit of extra things, I guess, and it's nice to see at least that being improved. So good on them. Right, will bring a significant improvement on planetary surfaces visuals and allow for some improved performance. Yeah, they don't mention that the improvement literally comes at just simply going. Hold on, I'm about to run something, right? Instead of actually game running faster, it's just simply you not noticing when the game simply just takes this slider and runs it like that. That's all that literally is happening right there with the what was it, the fidelity, where the fuck is it? Yeah, there we go, fidelity cast, because that's upscaling literally. You set this to fidelity cast, right? This, I think it is at 100%, and this is literally the lowest. I think it was the rendering scale, or simply just going for the super sampling. Again, it's the render scale, literally. If you combine these two, oh god, it's gonna look. I need to test this. I really want to test it out and see how much potato can the game look, because it's that is a 50% render scale of another probably 50, because thanks for another useless slider. I would love to know the actual values, but all right. But yeah, that's basically what is happening there. They're just simply decreasing the image size that is needed, as well as the quality of the image size that is needed to be, generated, and thus you get more performance. But in reality, the actual performance that should be coming from, not pointlessly rendering a character, let's say, 5,000 meters ahead of you, because you can't even see it, but it still tries to render it. It's just not render it in the first place. It's a patch. It's literally a patch. Don't be fooled by the extra performance. It is a patch. A bad patch. Like a duct tape over a landmine wound. Yeah, there you go. Also, Dester, would you like to see the gaming industry regulated in the US? The answer to that is... depends who regulates it and how.
That's a tricky subject.
Yeah, it is a really tricky subject, because here's the thing, right? Generally speaking, yes, we need somebody to basically clamp down on the fucking exploitative garbage that is loot boxes, mobile market especially. Jesus fucking Christ, that garbage market, and other things. There are plenty of other things. There's also the workplace abusal and nonsense that goes on, especially now with the reports coming out of Activision Blizzard back in a couple of months ago, in Ubisoft, and then all those things. There has to be some checks and balances, true, but again, it really depends on who and what does the regulation, if you will. So.
And the funny thing is, all those regulations, the things that are needed to fix those particular things you just brought up, don't really just only apply to the game industry. That applies to just work in general.
The gaming industry, the thing with gaming industry in general is that it is new. Pure and simple, it is new, and obviously, just like with loot boxes, there's not enough legislation, regulation, blah blah blah, that goes through and actually, mandates that a company does not sell fucking gambling to children, right? And other shit. There's that, of course, but there are other, more subtle things that also need to be, regulated, blah 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 blah. But the problem with regulation in any fucking thing, any place, is that ones with the money might have a bigger influence than you might like, and through their wealth, they may legislate for easier, regulations here and there. I mean, we can see that in many industries, environmentalism as well. How what was it? Drilling, an oil industry essentially, fucks over nature and other things, especially now with the Chinese stuff and so on and so forth going on, right? You often look at how they screw over Australia's end, and so on and so forth. There's just plenty of examples, but again, industry is an industry, and so on and so forth. There is a little bit of self-regulation going on within the gaming, and so on and so forth. There's there was the ESRB, I think it was, and a few other bodies that sort of try to self-legislate and self-regulate, if you will. But yeah, obviously with the loot box nonsense and other things going on, they're not exactly the greatest. Again, Jim Sterling, go watch, listen, and think along the lines and see what shit is going on. Anyways, right, so visually, I mean, it's still bleh. So that's the apparently new look of the ice and dusty planets. Yeah, that kind of a mountain, let's see, on 0.39 G planet, sure would exist. Yeah, it's not very realistic. It's not a great picture regardless. Elite Dangerous Planet Generation has never been the greatest out there, but the old generation, the old Planet Generation, in my opinion, was far more realistic feeling if you actually put in a little bit of extra grease, elbow grease work, if you will, like with the textures they've done here. So, I don't know. The new system just simply doesn't feel good at all, by any means. From afar, the funny thing is, I like Black Maze's video back a while, that he basically showcased that from orbit, it looks like there might be a ravine on a planet's surface, but when you go closer, it slowly disappears and becomes flat. Right? If you haven't seen the video, I recommend go on the YouTube, watch Black Maze, Elite Dangerous Planets or something like that. He made a couple of videos about exactly that, just reviewing and examining and showcasing, of course, how these planets kind of fake actually having the features that from the orbit you might think it has. So, yeah, that's, yeah. Well, anyways, let's see, my YouTube thingamajig thing, no, didn't die, didn't die. Okay, good. Right, moving on then. Right, so the camera suite, the one that I am personally the most interested about. So those that you know, somehow missed, probably didn't care much. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, Sally from the community manager team did actually release a post on the forums asking, you know, what people would like to see changed about the camera suite. So, obviously, me being one of the creators within the community, as well as other, well, fellow creators, did provide some extra information, shall we say. And, well, almost unanimously, everyone hated the blackouts. And it wasn't just that in Odyssey, blackouts, there's the, hold on, let me just show you what a blackout would be. I need a rock, right, give me a moment. I'm gonna show you what a blackout was supposed to be, basically. So you want to film something, right? Come on. Move, you wretched shit bucket, damn it. My God, this thing is slow. Good for traveling, bad for doing precise things. Right, anyways, there you go. Right, so I pick up my camera, right? And I want to film my ship, you know. Why is it rotating? Oh, stupid fucking controls. Right, so that's in place. 4, and that's the default, of course it is. 4, apply. Give me a moment. Oh, fuck right now. Give me a moment.
Yannick will be back after these menus.
I love when shit is not properly set up. Store, there we go. And that's custom. There we go, because... whatever, there we go. Alright, here we go. Right. So basically, I want to film, you know, my ship. There we go already. And I haven't been even obscured fully, right? I'm just a little bit obscured. See my ship right there? Right, I'm gonna go closer, right? I obscure myself and it goes black. That's the blackout that everyone fucking hates. It's, again, the edge cases the developers showcased today were nice, you know, when essentially, you know, it's partially obscured like right now, and it wouldn't black out, which is nice. The problem with the camera is not only that on the edge case, when, you know, you have slightly of your character still visible, so you have that direct line, and it's, you know, it shouldn't black out. No, we want to actually travel without being attached to the ship and the line of sight to film something. Okay, fine. If you want to compromise and not let people go into a model, you know, and look behind the models inside, well then, I don't know.
It's not worth it. Just let us look inside the models. Who cares?
Exactly.
You won't have good content if you put that on your video. So what?
Now, the thing is, there's this perception that, oh, you shouldn't... Well, basically, developers think that they know better, essentially. That, you shouldn't see inside of a model, right? That would break your immersion. You know what also would break my immersion? Fucking bullet sponge, but that's a whole different topic. About
the camera suite is one area where we don't need immersion. We're not using the camera suite to be immersed. We're using the camera suite to create content of some sort. We don't need immersion.
You can move the fucking camera so fucking quickly. It's not like you're launching a goddamn drone. And even if you had a drone, then in that fucking case, why do you need a direct fucking line of sight when you have something like a ship launch fighter that doesn't need a direct line of sight to actually be operational? Right? There is no consistency with the logic. So fuck the lore excuses that people come up with. Fuck that. So yeah, you can see I'm rather passionate about this fucking topic because, well, guess what? That blackout has ruined plenty of good shots, or rather, not allowed a good shot. However, developers did showcase some interesting additions to the camera suite in general, like the rotational movement, essentially, and allowing you to just simply move upwards in in one of the axes or in a straight line and rotate the camera without the knee, or rather without that changing also the direction at which the camera moves. At least that's what they hinted with the video that they showcased, and that is a nice addition. Like, that is a proper nice addition. However, blackouts must go completely, and community was unanimous about this almost. Well, in the forums at least.
We can disable the shader if we have to.
It basically is just a refusal to acknowledge that,
yes,
hey, we want to make content, but because we have this lore thing that we don't want people to peek behind, or to allow players to look behind the ground and stuff. So no, you're gonna have blackouts. Enjoy and deal with it. Just no. No, the thing is, you can also have... I'm just going to finish the idea. You can have a compromise. When you have a lore building, let's say the Targoid base, right? And you need something to get inside in it, right? To unlock the mystery behind it or something like that. Have a big sphere collision or trigger box that would enable blackouts. Only in that small area. Everywhere outside of it, that's it. No problem. Just disable it. Disable the blackouts. Inside that trigger box, you will black out whenever you have those old rules, when you need a line of sight. That's it. That's all you need to do. For the rest of the fucking things, just allow us to film shit, to look behind the models.
That's work.
That's the thing. And the thing is, I'm a person who absolutely likes to see behind a curtain oftentimes. That is on game development and other things as well. I like to see how things are made, because that basically improves my appreciation of perhaps a smart solution to something, for example. And the modeling as well, right? You would see oftentimes in games when you go below the ground that there is still a model, being generated, or there is still part of the model or hangover or something that is essentially still there, and the performance is lacking. Well, you can say that, hey, they are not having a proper optimization because this still is being rendered, or because it is and it still renders for some weird reason, even though you shouldn't be seeing it. There you go. You are troubleshooting as an extra. But when there is a smart way of dealing with things, or putting stuff in the game, you can also appreciate, because you know how it is kind of done.
Mechanic Man's entire existence is for showing off things you can't normally see in the game. What does it look like behind the ships? What does it look like in the back of the station over here? Yeah, exactly.
So, no. Fuck lore reasoning for the shit. Just no.
Yep. And I didn't see the showcase of the camera suite, the new camera suite, but that new collision detection worries me, because my content relies on not having collision detection. with the camera suite. So was this just the collision detection for what determines blackout or not?
Right. So
what you
essentially, basically, what they have changed, it seems like, is slightly alter the way line of sight works and improve the line of sight required trigger box, if you will, sort of. As long as basically increase the trigger box so that you can kind of go behind an object, let's say, right? And still be non-blacked out, right? As long as you have a little bit of your body still outside, or, that box, if you will, still visible to the camera, it won't, black out. And, there's a little bit of extra algorithm nonsense, but basically, it's not as simplistic and so straightforward anymore, so it allows for a little bit more variety. And Drew, I see you there in them chats. If you wanna come and chat in the voice, well, feel free to. I think you should have my Discord, and you should have the role if you wanna, of course, discuss stuff and so on and so forth. But regardless, there's no real lore associated with the external camera, just a developer excuse. Yeah. No, again, the lore excuse is that you shouldn't see behind the curtain. Again, I gave the example of the Targoid base, that sort of a thing. But for that, if you really want the camera to not reveal the secret inside or something like that, well then simply have a trigger box like most games have. As a matter of fact, I know a few games that had this sort of a preventative blackouts or what else that prevented you from actually looking behind the scenes with the cameras and such, just in specific areas, rather than everywhere. So, there's that. But, anyway, so we'll see how camera works, but essentially it just simply reduces the times when it blacks out. It will still black out, most likely, when you're going inside the model, when you're too far behind the model. It's...
it's a step in the right direction. I disable the blackout shader anyway, so I can go anywhere I want for my videos, but it should be gone. You're exactly right. And just like Drew said, there's no reason for it.
Yeah, there really is no reason. Fuck the lore-wise, it's just no. If you want to hide something from players, then put it in a specific place. Not have it cause everywhere, or be caused everywhere, because X, Y, and Z. Because in that one small instance, bleh. Well, regardless, anyways, moving on then. Rocket troops and military... Hey! Fiction. Well, thank you for subscribing there on the Twitch chat. Really appreciate your contribution to beating the horse in space. That go on with the good work. Well, I appreciate your contribution there, really, quite a bit. Yes. Right, moving on. Right. So yeah, I was weirded out that developers didn't include NPCs with rocket launchers, since, hey, every other weapon is given to the NPCs and rocket launchers aren't given. However, well, that kind of makes sense when rocket launcher is a rather powerful weapon and would immediately kill somebody with one shot or two shots or whatever, right? You would obviously not give those sort of incredibly powerful weapons to NPCs, unless they are close range like shotgun is. So I understood why they didn't give the rocket launcher, but now they are putting it back in. And considering the amount of bullet sponginess, if you didn't know, yes, there's plenty of bullet sponge within the first-person shooter aspect of Odyssey. For that, go check out my big analysis video, which goes in detail. Why? It's really bad. Not just bullet sponge, but the whole fucking gameplay is bad. Like, really bad. But yeah, rocket troops, I mean, you can't still kill anyone with one shot. Like, you can't. Unless they are walking like with a flight suit, right? Or without the shield. Well, let's assume, obviously, everyone is up with their shield. With full shield, you just can't kill anyone with one shot. I think the fully engineered the shotgun can't even do it. Yeah, I think so. But regardless, the point is, it's just the engineering also is crap. But anyways, right. Moving on. Right, so rocket troops. it adds a little bit of variety and explosions and more pew pew without actually killing anyone. That actually, that's what I absolutely hate about Odyssey's FPS gameplay. It's just made so specifically so that you constantly pew 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 but never kill. Have you noticed this as well with especially with the trailers and of course the streams whenever those community managers stream? They take down the shield of an NPC, they reload and switch to another target because reasons, or simply aren't able to kill an NPC properly or quickly. That kind of gameplay is just, I absolutely hate this idea.
It's the FPS combat equivalent of grind, it feels like to me. So
it very much is so.
You can't have the good FPS combat, so we'll just grind down the shields first and then switch weapons and kill and then grind down the shield. So yes.
To me, the FPS gameplay feels like whoever made it, whoever thought that it was good enough, they thought that, hey, what people like in FPS games is not killing people, but shooting their guns. So let's make a gameplay that actually just hinges on shooting people and killing as little as possible. Everyone likes shooting your gun. Don't you like shooting? I love shooting my pew pew constantly. That's the top FPS gameplay right there.
Oh
right?
My God. It goes back to my very first complaint when we heard about what Odyssey was going to be. It's like, how good of an FPS can you bolt onto an existing game? What even can your expectations be? You're not going to be able to do the best. This is not a combat FPS game. This is a space game. So how good can you expect? Why did you go that direction in the first place? Was my question.
For me, I don't care what the company makes or how they make things. Anyone can make something good from out of nowhere. We've seen this in movies. We've seen this in games. Out of nowhere, a company that was known for doing these completely unrelated things just comes swinging and just knocking out of the park with just first try.
They did it with VR and Elite. Elite was not intended to be a VR game, and look, it turned into one of the best ones because it just by chance.
It was a tacky feature they added and bolted on, but it worked.
That's the exception, not the rule. Lightning's not going to strike twice, is how I felt when they said they were going to add
not necessarily,
FPS.
Sure, but
it definitely could. It certainly could.
Yeah. What I expected from the FPS gameplay was a very simplistic, not very interesting, casual FPS gameplay because, well, that would make sense for Elite Dangerous, for a game that is trying to bring in a completely different type of a player. Trying to expand their community or at least the appeal of the game. For tactical shooters or specific niche, you won't gonna make specific super niche type of gameplay for your as wide of a net appealing sort of a gameplay, right? That makes sense. So making a sort of middle of the road gameplay would make sense, and that's what I expected from Odyssey's FPS. I sure as fuck did not expect them to copy vehicle-based combat on FPS. That's for me first.
My expectations were kind of low with that. I don't know. And also
my expectations weren't even there, and I got disappointed as fuck. The more I examined it got really bad. But yeah, anyways.
Obviously, with me, that's what killed me with not having VR available. And I rightfully so. I get it. You have to design it from the ground up. You're making a whole VR game. VR FPS games that do just that have trouble doing it. It's hard.
It is pretty hard, and there's basically, I'd say, 3 FPS games on VR that are decent.
What's good? Onward, Pavlov.
That would be Onward, maybe Zero Caliber, I don't know. The Gun Range, or Gun Club, and Half-Life Alyx.
Of course, Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, there's those 3, 4. Well, maybe Bone works as well, but I need to test it out.
I do like Pavlov.
basically, maybe
Pavlov.
5 VR titles, 2 of which I haven't played, so for me,
But it's
3.
hard.
But it's not easy to make an FPS game, yeah, sure. And how will you integrate it versus somebody that can run around with the WASD and the keyboard and mouse? You know, it's gotta be.
That's what upset me about Odyssey in general. Why do all of these things that are taking you so far in a different direction of your game that works? You're doing non-VR FPS now. I mean, like you said, you're trying to open up to a new audience, but it's a big stretch.
Actually, no. That's the interesting thing about the Odyssey in a way is that, well, the first-person shooter aspect, the first-person, ability to walk around was basically a writing on the wall. That's the next logical progression.
They had mentioned it from the beginning that it was going to come eventually.
Well, there's that too. But even without them saying it or mentioning it as a potential explored option for the game, it simply makes sense, and that also offers the game for a wider audience. It has so many potential positives. Bring in new whole slew of players. That's an awesome idea if you do it even okay. Right. No, not even right. Just okay.
Just okay.
That's all you need to do. Just make it okay. And they fucked it up for financial year end. Yeah. That's how little you needed to do, surprisingly, right? When you start to examine how little you actually needed to do, it's just, how can you fuck up? Like, these days, copy-pasting, even Unreal Tournament 1 or fucking Quake code, how movement works and, take examples, quote-unquote, from that kind of a gameplay. That's not hard these days. Yeah, right. Even such a basic thing, and yet you fucked it up. Instead of actually putting in even that little of an effort to copy-paste from someone else, you copy-pasted from your own thing. And those that don't, examine these FPS games and vehicle games and so on and so forth, you might not notice, but FPS games are far different, far faster, and far more precise than vehicle-based combat. Vehicle-based combat, on the other hand, is based on very specific rules of your vehicle. The World of Tanks or War Thunder specifically taking, right? Each of them have their own sorts of niches, if you will, and sorts of things, specifics that you have to have. And Elite Dangerous definitely is a vehicle-based combat game. That, at least on that end. Obviously, we have the shields, then we have the modules inside, and they do each things, and that sort of vehicle-based combat things specifically, right? Again, World of Tanks has also the modules inside and War Thunder and so on and so forth. Makes sense. That's the staple of vehicle-based combat. For FPS games, on the other hand, there's the pace, there's the speed, there's the aiming and the weapons and how each thing just comes together. You can't just sort of make a mutant baby out of those two. Or at least apply one to another. It just does not work.
And like Commander Glass is saying in the chat there, I think that is probably how they handled it in the engine. It's this: your being on foot is just in a vehicle that's invisible, and that's your suit and your shields. And
no, that's exactly the only thing that we're missing, literally, for the space like SRV legs or whatever you want to call it, right? For that, we are only missing literally internal module list. Hold on, let me just show you. Like, you look at your FPS guy or you're on foot, and then you press this selection, and you have, heart, brain, stuff like that, right? That's all you really need. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that we don't have on the SpaceX is this menu. Everything else is copy-pasted. That's the saddest thing about
hollow thing, but yeah.
That
sucks.
So there.
I don't think it's intentionally malicious, like somebody else also said too. It's intentionally tone deaf by the VPs who are in charge of the finance. But other than that, somebody forced it out and like, I don't care. We have to make these numbers. I promised a big shot, and I'm going to lose my bonus if we don't get it. And that was the big mistake.
The intentionally malicious part I apply to FPS games when for this particular thing, for Elite Odyssey, in two specific ways. Number one is the grind. Obviously, just the constant need to just go grind, and the fact that the power creep is set in such a way that, like it or not, you are forced to grind. Otherwise, your weapons are useless. And what's the point then? So that is malicious. And the amounts... Oh, God. Tempest, thank you for becoming a patron there. Really appreciate it. Holy shit. Where was I? Ah, yes. The maliciousness they apply to Elite's FPS gameplay for just forcing your player, instead of having a decent gameplay and having fun with it and, you know, just playing it for the fun of it, forcing them to grind. That, to me, is fucking malicious stuff. Like, purely. I've applied this already to engineering for ships and for credits as well to some level. But for legs, it just feels far more, almost.
Whenever I see grind, I always say people have run out of ideas for gameplay, so let's just add hours on by grinding.
There are a couple of reasons why grind is being forced on players. Number one is that you simply want to pad player activity numbers, like how much hours player played. Well, hey, we can put a game loop that lasts 1 minute or 1 hour. Well, our books need to show that players play this many hours and we can brag about it. Yeah.
Find a game loop that will last that many hours. No. Let's just go get 50 Thargoid hearts.
And that is the malicious part of it, which I fucking hate. You're just simply putting on the grind because there is no fun gameplay. And even then, when there is a fun gameplay, right, let's say Thargoid combat, often it also is filled with grind stuff, you know, the personal narrative and all that stuff for weapons. But the other part about the maliciousness that I apply to FPS gameplay is the fact that it just literally is. It's not just carelessly copy pasted. Yes, they had the vehicle based combat from the ships and they copy pasted it on the legs. Kind of feels like they did bare minimum effort. However, they tweaked a couple of things specifically for it. Now, in the video I did go in detail as to what and how and where and blah blah blah, or just didn't care too much about it. And regardless, it's apathy. It's not stupidity, it's maliciousness to me. So yeah, it's just, no, we can't be bothered to make interesting FPS gameplay that would be actually engaging and could potentially be fun with, you know, people, to make it, you know, more appealing to the wider audience. No. Fuck the game, fuck the gameplay, copy paste the fucking thing in. Yeah, it's apathy, but still malicious regardless to me.
I'd say it's malicious based on the accounting folks. I guess I'm a little bit more glass half full. It's folks like, I've got this much budget. How can we get the most gameplay out of this kind of dev budget? It's like, well, we're going to have to add grind. We're going to have to do all that. It's the same end result. But I just think a little more glass half full. I could be totally wrong too, but maybe it's kind of like, we've got this kind of budget.
I don't know.
That's where Star Citizen comes up a little ahead, because like, we've got unlimited money. Let's do whatever the hell we want. That's one benefit.
God, that's a whole thing. Yeah,
that's a whole other discussion, though. It's a whole other can of worms.
That's Star Citizen is a whole nother beast. But the funny thing is, now everyone is kind of forced to look at Star Citizen and say, yeah, I'm having literally yo-yoing frame rates, even though technically on average I'm getting 30 frames a second. But half the time I'm playing with 5 frames a second. Yeah, that's fun. But no, still, you look at Star Citizen and their FPS gameplay. It is like any other normal, generic, modern FPS game. It has the guns, it has the little clicky noises and all that stuff. Visually, it is like any other modern FPS game. And the time to kill and the gameplay values are very generic. Headshots, yeah, sure. Armor, yeah, sure. Some healing, yeah, sure, why not? But it's all to very unrefined numbers, and it's generic. It looks good,
Yeah.
but aside from the looking good, it's very generic. And it works. I don't complain about it. In fact, I do like it. Surprisingly, well, beside the fact that you barely can play it because of the FPS and movement is another issue that Star Citizen has that actually Elite does manage better, but still.
Better. Absolutely.
Yeah. But anyways, in the chats I saw an interesting comment real quick there. Where was it? God damn it. There we go. Dude, Yamix, is your mission to bury Elite dangerous? My God! The answer is, I personally don't care what Elite does. I examine what is the end result. And basically, for the last couple of years, I've realized a couple of things about the company itself. And today we're basically, not today, but with Odyssey's release, we basically realized that the company doesn't seem to give too many fucks about the game. So in a way, since a couple of years ago, I've just started examining Elite Dangerous and observing it, really, rather than hoping for its success or downfall. Whether or not Elite succeeds or falls, it's completely up to them. That's what I said in my Is Elite Dangerous Dying video. At the end I said, the ball is in Frontier Development's court. It's now up to them to show what they want to do with it. Whether or not they want to let it go and die because it's not worth the investment after this fuck up, or will they stay and fight and potentially pull another No Man's Sky? It is possible. And obviously it'd be nice, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for it. And that's the thing about, especially the company that is Frontier Developments. Because I've seen their apathy on so many aspects, their corporate nature in general, so many times that, I almost curb stomp my own enthusiasm every time I hear something from Frontier Developments. It's no longer a company that, hey, yeah, they have their issues and, I'll still criticize them, but, I'm kind of hopeful, but no. At this point, I'm just observing and seeing what will happen.
I
just like I do with Star Citizen, as a matter of fact. But anyways, yeah.
Same thing. I complain because I love. I want to see it succeed, but I'm to the point where I'm worried in general, and I need to start speaking up. It's like the friend, like, hey, buddy, you've been sleeping in your couch for the last 3 weeks. You're drinking too much. You got to get yourself together. That's the mode I'm in now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's.
And I've always said, I actually say this all over the place, Yamix. I always go around saying, we need the people who are always saying, yeah, the game is great. It's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. But we also need that very angry Latvian every once in a while to remind people, like, kick them in the butts and say, you've got to fix this. Otherwise, I say that all the time.
All right, then, all right. That's oddly specific about the Latvian part, but all right, then. Yeah, of course, yeah. Land that produces mass critics, I guess. Why not? But yeah, you are turning everyone off to it, which will bury it. Right, so... Okay, so I'm a critic, right? I'm a media person who observes and, reports on, let's say, a product. It doesn't matter what product. Is it my task, again, you're not the only one who has said something like that. Is it my task to do anything in my power to turn people onto it despite the quality of it? Right? That's the problem with this sort of perception that, well, because I make bad videos, I'm turning people off. And sure, yes, I inform consumers, but or customers, customer regardless, right? Of the quality of the product. Hold on, where was I with the thing? Hold on, brain. I lost the train of thought. Right. The thing is, yeah, you can approach from the standpoint of, well, if you don't have anything bad or if you don't have anything good to say, then don't say anything at all. That the same thing applies in life, right? No. I feel a responsibility to, you, the community, rather. The community, the viewer, the fan of my work, regardless. The people, not the company, to toe the company line. My loyalty lies with the viewer and, let's say their hard-earned money, value, whatnot else they hold dear, right? I report to them, to you, rather, right? I'm responsible to you because you make this, thing happening. And sure, yeah, the subject that brings us together is, perhaps stumbling. Sure. And, I'll report it as such. I'm not gonna falsely say, well, it's not as good as it could be. Still great, guys. Still hang on to it. No, because I'm more blunt, I suppose. I go, specifically all out. And yeah, sure, my critique oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, but majority of the time focuses on the lacking bits.
It's just like in real life. You've got to get your information from everywhere. You've got to have everybody's different opinions. You got to have both the good stuff. Yeah, we love this game and it's good for these reasons, and they got to turn it around, and you got to see the other side of it too, and then you got to make your own decision. So yeah, no, you have to have those viewpoints in existence and not look at them just in a single echo chamber, and make your decisions based on all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the middle stuff. So I think everybody's opinion is very important in that regard.
Fair enough, yeah. Akitsumi, also, you generous soul, you thank you for becoming the patron there. Dude, I don't know what to say. So yeah, patrons like that example for right there. The people who support the work, the people who watch the content, like it or not, I do report to everyone. Again, I feel my duty as, I suppose, a community member in a way, and especially a critic or self-imposed critic, whatever, right? To actually go and examine these things in a light and opinion way that I see fit. Again, yeah, I go specifically for the lacking bits of a product. Doesn't matter what type of a thing that I am examining, I always try to go for the lacking bits, because the things that you do correctly, well, yeah, you can continuously talk about them, but, well, how long are you gonna enjoy saying, well, Star Citizen looks pretty, Star Citizen looks pretty, Doom Eternal runs great, Doom Eternal has great performance. How much can you talk about that? See, well, there's also the fact that I also look at most communities, and the fact of the matter is, oftentimes you need more extreme ends of the opinion spectrum, and, well, with Elite Dangerous specifically, and majority, as a matter of fact, communities that I've seen, the positive creators, or, well, whatever you want to call a positive creator, or a person with a positive review or more positive outlook, they are far more than the assholes that, resemble yours truly. So I figured, fuck it, I'll go for that angle, and that's where I am at now. Kind of.
That's my point. Somebody has to provide that. Somebody has to provide the really happy-go-lucky sparkles and glitter side too, and then everybody needs to consume both and make their own decisions. Exactly. So yeah. I also, well, there's also the fact that within my content, I often try to challenge the views of a viewer. Oftentimes, so ridiculing some stupid idea that somebody might hold dear. For example, Elite Dangerous should be open only. Come fight me, bro. But no, this is, seriously, I try to sort of position myself in perhaps in a bit more combative state, so that the viewer wouldn't always take my word for granted just because I said it, because I have my influence or whatnot else. Because I challenge somebody's views, they are immediately trying to combat the person who claims something, and thus also thinks along the line. So hopefully, hopefully you guys also are thinking ahead, despite what I say, examine what I say, and despite you agreeing, constantly check what and how I am presenting things. So there you go. Anyways, that's behind the camera sort of thinking process within the scripting and other things. But there you go. Right. Well, anyways, I suppose I ranted long enough. Let's continue on with the last bit of this nonsense that they promised and mentioned. So, right, future updates. Right. So here comes the future part that they are, well, describing.
after the update number 6. So here are the other currently in development, which are features currently in development, which are planned for future updates. As we get closer to their release, we will announce which of these will be included in each update and future blah blah blah. 4-player multi-crew, right? So 4 commanders will be able to board a ship together for the first time, with a number of ships set to be equipped with 4 cockpit seats. Oh gods, don't. Oh no. Okay, so
It fits.
in a way, yes, I appreciate the idea there, and so on and so forth, but we don't need a lazily stretched out adder cockpit with untextured seats just for the sake of it. Okay? Please. If you don't know, hold on. Actually, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me...
Mechanic Man's video on Odyssey if you want to see those.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. All right.
Look at that.
All right, Mechanic Man's video. Go watch Mechanic Man's video then. Yeah, let's get that promo out of the way. But yeah, basically during alpha, what they did for Apex, I don't understand for some fucking weird reason. They literally took the cockpit, right? What they did was literally take a cockpit, stretch it backwards, and you could even see the stretched texture on the ground, and put in untextured seats, exactly the same seats as these, just randomly placed on within the adder's interior, the stretched out interior. It was hilariously bad.
Holes in the side of the ship too. You could see out into space also.
Yeah, it's just why, and no one could sit in them anyways. It was just there to visually. I don't know what was the thinking process. First of all, they were untextured. Why? It's so stupid. But regardless, I hope that they ain't gonna be doing that, because the thing is, we need ship limitations, like the small ships having like 1 or 2 seats at most. They have that limitation because, well, that kind of makes sense for a small ship. And yes, every ship has a cargo bay, and you can, sort of shove in a player there. And true, because we don't have ship interiors, you can't have people just simply standing around in the cockpit or something like that. like in that other one, yeah. But in any case, right? But we just don't. Please don't put in pointless seats. The thing is, back in the day, everyone wanted an extra seat in Crate, because Crate is the cheapest ship that had a ship launch fighter, right? And it would make sense to have a multi-crew friend come along, but the Crate, not the Crate, Keelback. What the fuck is wrong with me? In the Keelback, right? Keelback was the only ship that did not had multi-crew feature, but didn't have the multi-crew seat. Kind of. Well, again, ship launch fighters can be used by NPC, blah, blah, blah. But the point was that, it had the potential. So why not just put in an extra seat? And they did, eventually. After years, I think it was years of asking for it. Still, right? Still, that was a big move, right? That added special uniqueness to the ship. But now if you're just gonna cram 4 fucking seats in every ship, then just no. And I can imagine that in something like an Eagle or Sidewinder, you're not gonna put in extra seats, but even in Cobra 3, maybe not.
Now I want 4
have
seats in a
limitations. Limitations are what makes the ships interesting, or bad sometimes. Fuck ass Scout, by the way. But yeah, not keen on seeing lazily added seats. That's my point. And then pointlessly added. Anyways, just for the multi-crew, right? So, anyways, moving on. The new Odyssey engineers in Colonia, right? So they promised to put in, engineers in Colonia, obviously for the Odyssey-based stuff. So look forward to unlocking those if you're there. And obviously, it's kind of weird that, yeah, they did not add engineers in Colonia then. Why? That's a big question. Oh well. Probably have to do with, again, we needed to rush this thing out again. Maybe. Anyways, moving on then. Air defense turrets in conflict zones. Yeah, this was a big problem, or, well, if you will, kind of a problem with conflict zones on planet surfaces. See, well, obviously it's easier to just pick your missile boat and go kill the planet mans on the surface with, you know, missiles. So adding those air defense turrets makes absolute sense. The problem is that, frankly speaking, I hate the way these conflict zones exist. It would be it would be a lot more interesting. Let's say you have a conflict zone in any of those, you know, planet bases, right? But then have the turrets not be the ones that are for the, you know, settlement defense, but actually for, well, brought in from, you know, the orbit or the orbital strike or orbital drop turret somewhere, you know, custom place. So that, you know, it actually feels like an extra addition to protect the specific side of the conflict, rather than just have the base automatically be completely powered down, but also at the same time have functional turrets. It's just a little detail that would be nice to have, but yeah. Why am I giving suggestions? They're not paying me to do this. God damn it.
We need a lot more rock, paper, scissors between foot combat and ship combat, definitely. Like, you need those defense turrets stopping the ships. You need ships that can attack the people, but then you need people can attack back with specialized ground-to-air weapons so that your regular sidearm isn't blowing up anacondas and stuff, and there's so much more you need.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's this thing called engineering that basically makes ships already unbalanced as fuck, which in turn makes any kind of a change required for, you know, combat between legs to be also changing the engineering and blah, blah,
all
blah.
balances a huge house of cards. Yep.
Unfortunately, this house of cards is literally just a pile on the floor for Elite Dangerous. That's all it is. There's no balance within Elite Dangerous. I shit you not. Fuck me. Anyways, the interesting thing here comes, though, in the form of increased stored module capacity and bookmark numbers. Now, obviously, they haven't informed us about the exact numbers, but my comment on Twitter, I think, was about the damn fucking time. I'm not gonna applaud about this. The only thing that I have to say about this is about the damn fucking time. For bookmark numbers, absolutely. So yeah, it's an okay change. Generally speaking, a really good change, but because it was so needed. Only having it after 6 years, just should have come far sooner. And the funny thing is, with bookmark numbers, it's super easy to do. Just change a number, you know? Technically, well, yeah, you need to store the information. The point is, it's not as difficult as module storage, but even module storage is not that hard. And it was increased already once. Bookmark numbers, actually, come to think of it, have bookmark numbers ever been changed? Like, increased?
But were they increased at Horizons? Around Horizons, maybe?
I don't know. I know that they added bookmarks somewhere around Horizons, I think.
Oh, maybe that was just adding them, yeah.
Yeah, since they added, they haven't increased the number of book. What the fuck? Correct me if I'm wrong, but fuck me, man. Fuck! You'd think that somebody who played Elite Dangerous like a normal explorer would, you know, like developers should, or somebody from the development team should. You'd think that this would be an easy thing to add. Quality of... In fact, I made multiple quality of life videos mentioning exactly this fucking thing, goddammit. Not to mention my creator peers mentioning it as well. So goddammit. Anyways, let's see, how many more updates before we get custom HUD colors? Probably never. The answer to that is HUD colors. Every color basically needs to be tested against other colors to make sure that they are proper, visible, and they would make sense. That's at least what I would do as a developer, right? I would specifically choose a few different color schemes, if you will, or well, unlock it for community modders. If I didn't want to do the work myself, I would unlock it for community modders so that they can, extrapolate, put in work so that community can change the numbers how they like it. And I wouldn't be responsible for making bad HUD colors. However, if I wanted to put in, colors that would work, that would require testing. Technically speaking, it's not that much of a work, but still testing quite a bit and blah blah blah. But the reason why they haven't put in extra colors is, well, it needs testing, blah, or something like that. So there you go. Let's
Testing
see.
is another topic.
And that's all right, moving on then. Mission feature extensions, right? So we'll be expanding mission features for Odyssey with the aim to increase mission diversity and also create stronger links between the in-cockpit and on-foot game. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck they're talking about, so we'll see when that materializes, if ever. And then Apex Redirect. They are planning to give in the further future update an ability to swap destinations mid-flight, fuel permitting, of course. But okay, I mean, it's sure. Yeah, it's nice because right now the only thing that you can do with the Apex travel is literally accept it, get in the ship, and wait. No matter where you go, wait. I mean, okay, each travel is limited by 100 light years, so it's not that far, but let's say you suddenly decided to go, or accidentally go to Hutton Orbital. You're gonna still have to sit there for an hour. So being able to, choose a different destination and quickly do a hyperspace jump through it, rather than needing to sit the whole hour there, yeah, it's a needed thing. A cancellation also would be nice mid-flight and so on and so forth. But this is what it is. Let's see, as mentioned, this list is not exact blah 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 blah. Right, so basically, yeah, they're just generally speaking, nothing particularly interesting. The only interesting things are for the future updates, and that is the Colonia engineers, which is kind of nice, the air defense turrets, which maybe kind of balances out the on-foot combat zones, kind of, and module storage and bookmark numbers is, personally speaking, the biggest change that should have been recognized years ago. Back in the day when they increased the module storage already twice, or by 2 times, that is, from, what was it, 60? Yeah, it was 60 at first, and they increased it to 120 when they changed engineering. Me and other, community people, everyone basically was saying that was too few. It's still to this day too few slots, and we need far more. I'd say 1,000 for start would be nice, but that's just me. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise me with more than 1,000 module storage capacity, which is basically the same sort of a pleasant surprise that happened with maximum route planning in Galaxy Map. I, at the time, thought that, 5,000 coming from 1,000 would be a, really good change. But they changed it to 20,000, which was fantastic. Personally speaking, my favorite change of all times, because it was so much more better than what I would have asked for. So, there you go. Anyways, let's see. As for the update number 6, well, the only noticeable thing will be probably the performance, depending on how good it is, the lighting, because it's visual, and let's see, where was the other? Camera suite. Yes, for me, it is the camera suite, but that's about it. Other than that, the planets, yeah, I want to see the planet surfaces more, and see the planet generation more than just color change. Colors, nice, sure, but they won't change the fact that the planet's surfaces look really dreary and dull and boring, unlike the, well, old system, if you... Anyways, banging beer. Let's see. Also, the community used to be involved in development because that's how 99% of the other games work. But they are 15 years behind. The community managers are just a firewall between the community and Frontier. Where they should be changing information for channel of information flowing both ways, which is yeah, but no, yeah, you're not wrong. A community manager should do more.
I think they give the devs and the community people their feedback. I think it just might go into the wastebasket a lot.
Oh no, it absolutely goes in the basket quite a lot, because the company and the development team's decisions really don't matter. The one person, or rather a couple of people, basically make the real decisions, and whatever,
we have
let's say, they can sneak by the decision makers will make into the game. I have a feeling that the bookmark thing is basically sneaking a little bit behind the backs, or something like that. Because thing is, the game director or game directors are the really ones that make the decisions for the game. Game designers are the ones that, generally speaking, make sure that their idea is implemented however they feel is appropriate, and I often question their decisions. But it's just the company heads, essentially the ones that actually make decisions. The higher ups are the ones to be blamed for really bad decisions, and also the fact that no feature is given enough time to be addressed, or even just having an off time for the team to actually go and develop whatever they feel like is worth developing. Because I bet there are plenty of developers that actually know what needs to be changed, but are ignored completely because, well, the management are pieces of shit. So, there you go. Yeah. Let's see. I guess that's about it on the information here. Generally speaking, there's not particularly much more left to discuss, so I'm just gonna take a look at the chats there, right? Whoops, there we go. So yeah, generally speaking, I'm more interested to see how the camera has changed for update whenever it comes out. Obviously, it'll be nice to see some proper changes, I guess. But I'm not gonna hold my breath for the actual... what the hell? Where's the ring, damn it? Fuck me. Right, but regardless, the point is, yeah, the camera really needs to get rid of the blackout just completely. There's no good reason to keep it in. If you need really that blackout, set specific zones for that blackout, not have the whole game suffer because of it. There's your compromise.
It's a great idea. This is a secret spot, so we're specifically blacking it out. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, I don't mind it. It's still obvious. It will be pretty much obvious that it's a secret spot from, I don't know, for whatever reason.
Better than wrecking the whole game, like you said, though.
Yeah. Let's see. Izzard, what's the point of add one more seat if I can launch two fighter together? Only for the foot? Yeah, that feels like the idea that they will be adding extra seats in ships, or at least I think that that's what they wrote. I mean, that they will be adding extra seats in ships so that simply you can have more people join for quote-unquote multi-crew from the on-foot gameplay. That's how it sounds to me, frankly. So yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Hard to say really at this point, but no, there you go. Let's see. Button pusher. Don't ask questions like you want to get forum and chat moderated. Yeah, the forum thing, and the thing is, official forums is filled with questionable moderators, I can tell you that much. But the rules and their enforcement is also just, it's a mess. Basically, it's a mess. The whole walled garden approach is just disgusting. The reason why is, as a matter of fact, on my Discord, I allow literally as much as possible of bullshit, you know, except for specific few rules that, you know, once you break, you're just being really stupid and deserve to be banned. So yeah, the freer the community, yes, you'll have people saying shit, piss, cunt again, tits, dick, and, you know, other things. More, sure, yeah, but the community ain't gonna be as fucking disgustingly Frontier Forum-y. There you go. That's the best description I can give you, frankly speaking. But yeah, I mean, look at Reddit, for example. Yeah, sure, it has its problems, but it's not as toxic as fuck as the Frontier Forums is. The reason for that is that it just simply has lesser, shittier rules. Simple as that. And when they are enforced, you know, you know that it is warranted. Pure and simple. So there you go. That's at least my opinion on moderation as to how things should work and blah blah blah. But that's, you know, that's just me. Somebody who absolutely loves the cunts. Kind of. Well, depends on what kind of cunt, but you get my point. But anyways, right. So it's been 2 hours actually of just me ranting and so on and so forth with the help of Mechanic Man here. So,
I just came in to complain about the hauler.
Oh, well, fair enough. I mean, it looks like just vomit. Actually, you know, it might as well show people what we are talking about again. Because, hey, why not? Let's see. Where, you know what? Fuck it. Just gonna try and go in Super Cruise real quick. Because this is not easy to showcase. Come on. Come on. But yeah, well, I don't forget this stuff. So yeah, those of you who have enjoyed the streams and content and so on and so forth that I do and all that wonderful stuff, check out the Patreon. Support your favorite creator out there, not just yours truly. Although I really do appreciate the great support from the folks there, indeed. But yeah, also my fellow creators deserve it, like Mechanic Man here. Yeah, I think Mechanic Man also has Patreon there somewhere. On the YouTube, you can find him easily.
Yes, youtube.com/mechanicman. No Patreon yet, because I don't put out content frequently enough to deserve payment. But soon.
All right, that's your opinion. just saying it is worth it. But on serious note, though, yeah, check out the links down below and all that stuff. Of course, do subscribe on YouTube, follow on the Twitch, you know, and all that usual stuff. In the meantime, let's see. I could actually hold on. I'm just gonna slam my face into this ring real quick. All right then. I think I'm close enough. Although, yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna turn my head something like that. Okay, so this is the position. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's gonna change the position, but fuck it. All right, so this is the cockpit when it's not being lit up by the star. There we go. Right, so this is the cockpit. Okay, in Odyssey, mind you. All right, now let's switch to Horizons and see what's what. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, there we go.
While the game is loading, basically my TLDR for fixing everything is, if I had the choice, I would take anyone who has gameplay decisions. Like if you're a game director or somebody like that, and you make decisions of how the game is played, you have to have a minimum of a certain number of hours played in the game, and you have to be able to prove it. because I want your eyes to bleed at certain stupid things and say, this is ridiculous. I shouldn't have to do this all day long. And then you know what you have to fix. I'm like, all right, so this drives me crazy. I hate it. It's so boring because I have to do it all day long. Let's fix it. Let's make it exciting.
But what if you're literally just starting to make the game? No one has the hours in the game that you're about to make.
Well, nobody would have it at that.
Loophole.
I would make a change once the game's established to do that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it really does feel like basically the point is that whoever's making decisions is just simply not playing the game at all, thus not understanding what it actually lacks. And there we go. That's the Horizon hauler. And god damn it, again, I can't move the fucking mouse, you piece of god damn fucking. Give me a moment. There you go. Now that's more lifelike.
There's like a specular highlight. You can see the fingerprints in the dirt. It's like, that's
yeah,
not
there's
in
a
Odyssey.
little scuff here and there, not just flat. Everything's
Are we just
flat.
missing that layer of textures in Odyssey so far or something? Because that looks great.
That's a good question.
Maybe they just forgot to add it. Forgot to display. You got to flip the switch. Oh yeah, we have that layer.
The bump map. Whoopsie.
We don't have any bump maps on there. Yeah.
That is
looks
weird.
a lot better.
But yeah. Actually, let me just... There we go. So yeah. You actually can differentiate the colors between each panel. Well, not each, but most panels. That's the thing.
Like in VR, if you zoom in on those little ledges, those trays that are sticking out, you can see like actual fingerprints and smudge marks and stuff. That's just not in Odyssey yet.
That's a cool
I don't know if it will be, but...
Yeah. Now back to Odyssey. Yeah.
Switching back and forth like this, they might just not have that layer enabled.
A good question. Let's see. James, get off Elite Dangerous and play natural selection. Alright. Alright. I'll get around with it. You know, the thing is, literally before I started the stream, I finished recording voice for a video and was editing, well, partially, an Elite video. So, yeah, making videos is not that easy. Whenever you have the time, whatever's time is left, you know, in the evening to play some games, I play some, I don't know, Counter-Strike or some other shooter thing quickly to unwind.
Fun fact about natural selection, I used to play natural selection 1 a lot, so much that I was actually the voice of the training commander in the training version, the training level.
God damn, that's awesome. Okay, that is awesome. I only wish I was a voice actor for something, but my voice sucks. Oh my god, it actually is. Oh, fuck. It's so... Yeah, the textures are different.
It's missing that whole layer.
Yeah. Either that or they completely changed some textures.
Like, not finished.
Why? There are no scuff marks. Yeah, there are absolutely no scuff marks or anything like that. What the fuck did they do?
I think it might be like a
hold
bump
on.
layer.
No, I'm that's oh, god damn it. Let me just damn it. Okay, I'm gonna have
like
to
that's to the level like I want to show a comparison and like even add to the bug tracker or something.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm literally opening a couple of things. Let's see. Did I get the picture?
Bump map layer.
X. Okay. Let me just X and
vacuum the interior. Yeah, they cleaned it. Yeah, it's just a new ship. It's a new game. So yeah, they cleaned it. The janitors have been through.
Now to switch, because goddamn, I'll open Photoshop and show you the difference. Because fuck. Yeah, there we go. We got pictures. Yes, good. That's the cockpit. Good. All right, and back to Horizons. Come on. Come on, turn on. Dang nabbit. There we go. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Come on.
Last time you hummed that song, it was stuck in my head for 2 days, just so you know.
Haha! Now you remember it. And you will after this. Alright. Alright. That's a picture. Picture. That's a picture. Right, now. Time for Photoshop. Or at least my horrible skill at... God damn it, Windows. Man, I need to reinstall this fucking thing. Anyways. Start the damn thing. Yep, we got all the pictures. Alright. That's a new thing. Good, good. Alright, let's do the chocks. Main fuel tank. What? Excuse me, what? Oh, god damn, my ship is running out of fuel. Ah, who cares? Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just. Alright. And this overlaid. Alright. Now. The X. Let's, screw it. Although I could use actually masking layer. Screw it. That'll do.
Look at that.
Let's see, rasterize layer, delete, done. Holy shit! Side by side comparison, fuck! Oh wow!
It's not finished.
Just look at the little scuff mark details. There's just nothing there. Also, this thing, right? It's just nothing there. Ew. Fuck.
Literally not done. That's like raw cookie dough.
Yep. It's so flat. Fuck me. Okay. Let's see. How can I do this one? God, I don't remember how to do these things. I need masking layer. Damn it. Okay, clipping.
Base looks a little darker.
Clipping mask? No, masking. Oh, damn it. No, whoops. Don't need that. Damn it, there was a mask. I'm horrible at this. Anyone with Photoshop help?
What are you trying to do?
I need to create a masking layer and just basically drag over masking side of it. There was a... Hold on. I think this was it? Yes, there we go. There we go. All right.
Even GIMP. I'm a GIMP user.
Okie dokie.
Didn't sound right.
You'd think so. All right. No. Chocks. No, there we go. Good. Okay, now I can move it. I think.
Like, this is to the level, like, I want to put in a bug tracker.
No.
And say,
damn it.
done.
Ah, damn it. I can't move this the damn thing separately. All right, fine. Ducks. Disable layer masking. There we go. Fuck it. All right, fine. I'm horrible at this. Sorry, folks. It's easier for me to do in Sony Vegas. But yeah, regardless, you can see a massive difference in these two things. Now, let's see on the side panels. You'll see probably the more differences. All right, side. Let's do kind of a... Yep. There we go. Make selection. Yes.
And
Chocks. There we go. We got that. Can I? No. Never mind. That's one. So yeah, there's just such a difference, especially here on the scuff marks and so on and so forth. It's not perfectly aligned as well. Weird. But regardless, the point is, yeah, the scuff marks and so on and so forth, it's just, wow. Let's see. Ducks.
went from spaceship to Honda Civic.
I mean, it's always been like Korean hatchback, true. I mean, I described it as that. But still... Oh, god damn it. Select... Come on, allow me to...
You're missing a line. That's a good question.
Just allow me to inverse the damn... Now, for fuck's sake. There we go. What? Oh! I'm horrible at Photoshop. Damn it. Hold tight, folks. No, that wasn't it. What was I doing? Oh, that's... Fuck. Select, modify edge. No. Where's the inverse? Inverse. Perfect. Alright, here we go. Yep. Copy paste.
That is a good question in the chat. Are you sure you have the exact same graphic settings between Horizon and Odyssey?
Yes.
Okay.
Whenever you switch versions, it literally has the same thing on.
Oh yeah, it pulls the same site. Yeah, so much that you have to change the control defaults. You're right.
Yep. So yeah, this is the difference is noticeable. They changed textures, pure and simple. They simply changed textures and didn't leave in the...
Like a reflective layer is missing.
There's just simply scuff mark layer missing.
Yeah.
They just simply didn't include it. Especially here, you can see it here a lot. Hey, thanks for the bits there, Snow Fox. Snow Fox C. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. Ah, damn it. Wrong layer. There we go. This one. Yep. It's just... Damn. It's so noticeable, too. Like, that scuff mark, it has character because of that scuff mark. Surprisingly. Yes, the little details actually matter. But damn. Well, shit. Actually, you know, it'll be easier for me to just showcase the stuff.
You zoom in VR and get really close. It's like whole handprints. Like you can see the thumb, you can see the fingers.
Indeed. Let's see, deploying money to the almighty mighty dead horse beater. May the gankers die out. Okie dokie. Alright, so cancel. Thanks.
Okay. This is easier in Vegas Pro. Why not do it in Vegas Pro? There you go.
Oh, fuck, right now. Put it in. There we go. I'm more used to this stuff, basically. So I'll just, yep. Chocks, it doesn't really matter. Let's just increase this. Yoink. Best full. Okay, I don't see the timeline. That's bad. Yeah, no. This layer, there we go. What I wanted to do was... do the mask. Do the thing. There we go. And now, off screen, I'm just gonna do it better. There we go. Chocks. I can technically do a full screen. Screw it, doesn't matter. Right, so this is basically the difference. Right?
How much faster a video creator was able to do this in Vegas versus Photoshop.
I'm horrible at Photoshop. Just the bottom line. So yeah, you can see the scuff marks. Hold on. Yeah, they are completely gone. I thought that for a second there was a remnant of it, but no.
Say no to space janitors, people. We want the dirt.
Man, boy, does it look like shit. Maybe I should make a video about this. Oh, a small little Twitter video, why not? If I can be bothered, I guess. I mean, I'm technically making it now. Hold on. Also, yeah, reflections seem to be gone too.
Wait.
No, not all of them. Here, right here
Plus
in
the
corner.
Screenshots. The sun moved a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit, but not enough to stop having reflections there.
Yeah, not enough to erase it completely like that, though, now.
It's kind of weird. Here, too, right? For example, there's a reflection here. And there is no reflection there. Weird. Just the little details. I mean, yeah, the green lights were quite glowing there, but still. Yeah, overall, it just simply looks more natural. Though, the blue light is more noticeable. Or maybe that's because there's just less detail for it to absorb. Absorb. There we go. Well, regardless, anyway, right. I'm just morbidly being curious about this stuff. Right. Jokes, don't care. No, just don't care. All right. Yep, I can tell from my scuff marks I'm in Horizons mode. All right. Well, anyways, that's enough about the morbid curiosity there. I am KR. Kyrox? Damn it! Sorry if I got that wrong. Anyways, that thing is missing the main texture. It's the only. It only has bump and metallic map.
It could be the other way around. Yeah, maybe the main texture is missing and all the details.
Maybe.
Who knows?
No, regardless of which, clearly it's not finished. It's just lighting, right? Oh yeah, it's just lighting being a little bit off.
You see those asteroids flashing in?
Yeah, the asteroids flashing. That's a fun little one. That's when it doesn't quite want to load. Essentially, you see these artifacts oftentimes, or well, glitches.
Right on the border of a level of detail switch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's between the two. Well,
it should be fading those in and out at least, though.
Yeah, that's some magic right there. But oh well, it is what it is. Right, anyways, well, for this evening, I suppose I'll call it a day for now. I need to go back and edit a Elite video after all and all that. So for the time being, I will bid you all adieu for this evening. Hopefully I'll manage to stream some tomorrow, depending on how much work I have and, you know, all that stuff. But regardless of that... Oh, sweet. I can go after a new keyboard. Sweet. Yeah, by the way, I ordered a new keyboard because my old one, after intense abusal, I think I've broken quite a bit of keys. And basically now I'm using pause button for my W key, print screen button for my A key, and for my screen lock button for my S key. So... yeah. Also, Pascal Ross. Is that a new member or... Hold on. YouTube is weird with those YouTube members. Now, it is technically a new member, right? Well, regardless, thanks to all the YouTube members, Twitch subscribers, and Patreon supporters. You know, that is not a new member. What the hell, YouTube? Anyways, still, regardless, thanks for all for watching, and I'll be back probably this week. Well, definitely this week. Depends on how quickly or how soon, and you know, all that stuff. But for the time being, I bid you adieu. I'll see what else is going on within. Elite, or maybe I could go for Star Citizen, or maybe No Man's Sky, or maybe just simply something else. We'll see. Regardless of that, I say big thanks to Mechanic Man for coming along as always. So it's always a pleasure to have some. Oh yeah, it's, you know, hey, I wouldn't have properly noticed. I noticed the lighting, but I didn't notice the textures literally missing.
Are missing.
So, yeah, that's an interesting one. So yeah, indeed, everyone in them chats, I'll see you then, later this week. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you around this.